Q here for another tutorial. This tutorial is going to be different than my other tutorials, and I know I say that in almost every video, but this actually is going to be different, actually quite a bit different. The only similarity it really has is that it's going to be using a computer and the internet. So anyway, what we're going to do today is learn how to hack into a website using basic SQL injection. I'm not positive, but I think this is error-based injection. Anyway, this is the easiest, in my opinion, of all injections, especially SQL injection, because it is an SQL injection. And you don't need any information or experience prior to this. This is definitely the easiest, and it's a good way to get started. So, before we get started on this tutorial, I would like to say that I have nothing to do with how you use this information, and this is for educational purposes only. So, use the information you're about to receive at your own risk. So, first I'm going to show you how you can get a site that is vulnerable to SQL injection, and you could type in something like in URL. Well, before I actually start on that, there's something called dorks, and you can type in PHP dorks or something like that. And you can click on one of these links, like this link has it, this link has it, and those are dorks that you can type into Google, and they look something like, here's a basic one, in URL :.php $ID equals. And what that's going to do is that's going to go into the URL and look for all the things that have .php ID equals. And you can go and you can click on a bunch of these, and some of them may work, some of them may not. But you just keep on clicking, and there's actually also programs and stuff that you can use to get this faster, and I'll post a link to one of those in the description, because it is definitely a lot easier to do. And if you are going to attempt this, be sure, try, if you can, not to use a Mac, because I'm only using a Mac because my Windows computer at the moment is not available to me. And if you are going to use a Mac, use Firefox, and I actually recommend Firefox for all operating systems. It's definitely the best in things like this. So, without further ado, let's get started. So let's say you found a website. I found mine right here, actually. And the URL should look something like blah blah blah. I recommend .php for the beginning, but it doesn't matter. Equals and then a number. And mine happens to be products.php cat equals 2 and sub equals 12. So to see if this website's vulnerable, I'm going to put an apostrophe at the end of the URL, and it's going to say, there we go, you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual, but that doesn't matter. As long as it says you have an error in your SQL syntax, that means that the website is most likely vulnerable. And it's about a 20% chance that it's not. So, now to get started, we'll delete the apostrophe and type in order by and then number. I'll start off with 2. And what this is doing is this is going to see how many columns the website has. And this is probably one of the most important things that you have to do. And you can gradually go up until it says something like, oops, not 510. But I'll use this as an example. It'll say, when you go too far, unknown column 5, like the number you typed in order clause. And it's going to be different for every website. So I'm going to go to 10 now, and 10 worked. And now I'm going to go to 11, see if 11 works. Oh, there we go. 11 didn't work. So that means that there are 10 clauses. Or there are 10 columns. So, now that we know that there are 10 columns, we're going to delete the order by and go back to the 12 and type union all select 1, 2, and then put in how many columns I have. For this example, I'm using 10, so we'll do 10, and then we'll put two hyphens at the end. So now, oh, I'm sorry, then you also want to replace the number with either a negative number or null. I use null because it's easier for me. And then you'll show up with a few numbers. I recommend picking the top number or whatever number is in bold. I'm going to use the top number here. So then you're going to replace whatever the top number is. For me, it's 7. And replace it with @ version. And let it load. And then it says 5.092 community, which is good. This means that the database is version is over 5, and that means we can hack into this website without using a blind SQL injection, which is very time consuming and a lot harder than this, and I'm not going to get into that. You can learn that from online, or you know what, I might post a tutorial a little later, but probably not. So you could just Google that if it's under 5, but luckily for us this isn't. So you're going to replace the at version you just typed with group underscore concat parentheses table underscore name parentheses, and then go to the very end of your columns list, and for me it's 10, and then type from information underscore schema, that's SCHEMA dot tables, where table underscore schema equals database, and then to put 2 parentheses hyphen hyphen. So now we're going to get a list of table names if you typed in correctly, and all of these are tables, like I just said. You might want to find the interesting ones, and for me the interesting ones are login, login secured, and users. I'm not going to use all of them, you can only use one of them at a time, so I'm going to use login for now. Maybe users, but I'm not sure. Login secured. Be sure if you're looking to find the admin to a website, be sure to look for something like admin. I'm pretty sure my admins are under login secured, or login. I'm not positive. So once you found the columns that you want, the tables that you want, remember them, write them down, copy paste them, whatever. I'm going to use login and login secured. So replace the table underscore name in parentheses with column underscore name, and then replace where it says information underscore schema dot tables, replace that with information underscore dot columns. So it should read blah 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 website, and then null union all select however many columns you have, but in the vulnerable column group underscore concat, in parentheses column underscore name, then it's going to go at the very end from information underscore schema dot tables, where table dot underscore schema equals database, parentheses 2 hyphens. And if I said tables, I meant columns. I don't remember which one I did, but anyway. So now here is all the columns. This is all the information the website has. Find stuff that's interesting to you: full name, pass, username, position, full name, all of that stuff. What else we can get? ID, that's not really that interesting. Cat, all this stuff is very, very good information. So we want the pass and the username to the admin. So I'm going to replace where in parentheses where it says column name right after group concat to username, because that's one of the columns we found. And if I just wanted to find the usernames, I would just type in username in parentheses, nothing else. But if I wanted to do more than one, I would type comma 0x3a comma, and then whatever I want. In this case it's pass, and if I wanted more I could even type 0x3a position, etc. So then replace all of this information schema, or just replace that with, since I want to find the admin, login, which is one of the tables that we had, or I can type login secured or something like that. Actually, for now I'll do users. If it says something like unknown, oop, there we go. Here's all the usernames and passwords. But if it says something like unknown username in blank list or whatever, that means that you have the wrong table and you're going to have to go back and look at a different table. Or you can just replace the username with something else. So here we have all of the usernames and passwords and how it's made, because we put the username first. The username is going to be first, and then we put 0x3a, which is kind of like a colon. Password, the pass, it's going to be username, colon, password, and then it's going to separate by a comma. So then username, colon, password, comma, username, colon, password. And if I typed in something like, I don't know if this will work because it's for users, but but full name, I don't know why it's not letting me type. Oh, there we go. So if I type something like full name, because that was a column, it'll have username. See, unknown full name and fields list, which means full name is not in the users table. So I'll just put pass, and let's take one of these. And I've already went to this website before, since I'm using it as an example website, so I know that this is an admin account right here, damn Cobra 123. And if you want to get into the admin account, you have to go to find the admin page finder, and you can do that by just googling admin page finder and clicking on the first link right here, and then follow the instructions. And I've already done that with my own admin page finder, so it's going to be evtme.com/login.php. And here we go, and I'm going to do, this says hacked, so I don't know if it would work, but it's going to be hacked, and then the password is Karika1982. Yeah, yep, it works. So here's the profile that I just got. Here's all of the stuff. C99 shell version 1. They have a nice shell here. You could probably, with a little Google search, find out how to upload your own shell, because this does look like an admin account. All of these other accounts and passwords are also open to me.